So Sky Sports News released this graphic with the sole purpose of pushing the narrative that Arsenal's attack is weak in open play. Let's take a look at the positive stats compared to the negative stats, and would you look at that, Arsenal are first when it comes to set pieces, yay! But 17th when it comes to open play goals, 19th when it comes to open play XG, and wow, we are rock bottom of the league when we look at our percentage goals from open play. Now, based on the fact that Sky Sports have highlighted 1 positive stats and 3 negative stats regarding Arsenal's open play, it is clearly a backhanded compliment to my team and Sky Sports' way of saying that Arsenal are trash from open play, supposedly. But let me tell you guys that you will start to look at these stats differently once you introduce the N-word into the conversation. Nuance. Could it be possible that Arsenal's percentage XG from open play is so low because in almost every game this season we have faced a low block in the Premier League? Now, there isn't a definitive stat that measures low blocks per 90 that I could find, but I did manage to find a few stats that might indicate that we do in fact face the lowest blocks in the Premier League. Now, before I tell you about those stats, I must say that using my eye test and watching Arsenal play within the Premier League, let me tell you for free that the only team that really had a go at us this season was Manchester United during that opening game. Man U did deserve to win, but yeah, Ricardo Calafiori had different plans on that set piece and we have a rock solid defense, so Man United did not win. Even against Man City, Pep Guardiola had to resort to playing haram football by parking the bus after Haaland scored. So from what I've seen using my eyes within the Premier League, I believe that every team has played a low block against Arsenal, bar Man United. But will the stats I show you back up this claim? So how can one measure if a team is facing a low block? Let me introduce you guys to the D line and the OD line. I just wish Juice WRLD didn't cross that OD line, man. Now, the D line is the average distance in meters from a team's goal to where its defensive actions occur. The OD line is the average distance in meters from the opponent's goal to where their defensive actions occur. Now, looking at the D line stats, Arsenal have the highest average defensive line in the league, which means that Arsenal are performing defensive actions significantly higher up the field than everyone else in the league. You'll notice as well that with the OD line, Arsenal face the lowest opposition defensive line in the league, which means that the opposition is performing defensive actions further down the pitch. A nice stat which I wish I had was pressures per 90 as a team as a whole, or how many pressures a team performs in a game. I was able to find this interesting stat, which is tackles in the attacking third. Now, focusing on the totals against Arsenal, we can see that the opposition have managed 11 tackles in the attacking third against Arsenal. You'll even notice that Arsenal has only faced 1 tackle in the attacking third since we played against Newcastle in September. Arsenal have performed 25 tackles in the attacking third, over twice as many as the 11 we faced, which is a slight indicator that we are actually pressing teams, but they aren't pressing us. I feel like this stat is a slight indicator that we're facing low blocks in the Prem. If we look at Champions League, you'll notice that Arsenal have performed 9 tackles in the attacking third, and Arsenal have faced 9 tackles in our attacking third from the opposition. This is a slight indicator that in the UCL, teams aren't really sitting back as much, they're genuinely having a go at us. But the problem with this stat is that it only measures the tackles completed rather than the pressures. Victor Gyökeres could press a player in the attacking third, they end up having an error and the ball is only won in the middle third. It completely ignores the impact of the press and solely focuses on the tackles only. That's why I said this stat is a slight indicator that we're facing low blocks. If we look at shooting stats against Arsenal, you'll notice that we haven't faced over 10 shots in the Prem except for the Manchester United game. Whereas in the UCL, we consistently face more than 10 shots in a game. And I'll say it again, people are having more of a go at us in the UCL than in the Prem. If we look at possession stats in the Premier League, we can see that teams have the least touches in our penalty area and in our attacking third. You can come to the conclusion that our defense is just so strong that teams can't get into our attacking third, but you can also come to the conclusion that teams aren't having a go at us. They are sitting at the back. But the last stat I'll look at is field tilt. Game week 1, we can clearly see that Manchester United have majority of the field tilt, but Arsenal ended up winning this game. I think this is one of the only games where Arsenal did not have majority of the field tilt, which means Man United were really having a go at us. If you look against Leeds, Arsenal had majority of the field tilt. It's not even a competition. Against Liverpool, I think Liverpool had slightly more of the field tilt, so they were having a bit more of a go at us, but you can see this game is more so equal, but Liverpool, I think they have a little bit more of that field tilt. Arsenal have majority of the field tilt against Nottingham Forest. Against Man City, you can see Arsenal have majority of the field tilt again. Arsenal have majority of the field tilt against Newcastle. The same story against West Ham. The same story against Fulham. And finally, the same story against Crystal Palace. Is it possible that all these teams are sitting in deep, letting us have majority of the field tilt, not pressing us at all, and playing low blocks? You can literally see from the field tilt screenshots which I showed you guys that only Manchester United had majority of the field tilt against us. Liverpool kind of were there, but Manchester United actually dominated us in that first game. Liverpool, it was like a 50-50 affair. So the only team which had a go at us in the Premier League is Manchester United. Everyone else is sitting deep. Why do you think we're scoring so many set piece goals and not a lot of open play goals? Because everyone wants to sit at the back when they play against Arsenal. Now the point of this video is to highlight that even though we are scoring a lot from set pieces and not as much from open play, a narrative shouldn't be pushed acting like we can't score from open play. These stats aren't as black and white. When you look close enough, you can see that there are possible indicators for the lack of open play goals, and in my opinion, I think that we don't have a lot of open play goals because we're constantly facing low blocks. But the media doesn't want to cover that side of the story. They see us winning through set pieces and they call us Stoke City, whereas the same media was praising Liverpool for being the best team at set pieces not so long ago. Literally, this guy Ryan from ESPN writes an article stating that Arsenal are ruining the league with set pieces, but back in 2019, he was praising Liverpool for winning games through set pieces. Even if we go back to that Sky Sports News graphic, we can see that Sky Sports is blatantly putting out false information to try and make Arsenal look bad at open play. They got community noted for their tweet stating that we are 17th with our 5 open play goals, when it turns out we would actually be 13th. I know the difference may not seem like it's that much. I understand it doesn't make it look much better, but can we at least admit that they are blatantly putting out false information to support their own narrative? Now look guys, I'm just making this video to make you aware of the fact that Arsenal are facing a lot of low blocks in the league. If you feel like you have better stats to indicate that we are facing low blocks, please leave them down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like on this video and subscribe to your boy. And don't believe the narrative being pushed about Arsenal. I am hoping that our team wins everything this season. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys have an amazing day. Peace.
How do we stop them? We're all gonna have to delete social media if they win the league. 9 games in, they've only conceded 3 goals all season. They haven't conceded a shot on target in their last 3 games. They are literally impossible to score against. I think it's 5 clean sheets in a row. The biggest competition is Bournemouth and Sunderland right now. They've already got 6 points on City, 7 points on Liverpool. I mean, the fact that my club, Man United, is looking like competition and we're not the finished product yet says a lot.
See, this is why I don't like Man United fans. Why is she trying to bring Man United into the conversation? But let's let her cook. Let's let her cook, man. Because I saw what happened against Nottingham Forest.
Arsenal's 2 biggest issues last season was squad depth, which they completely solved in the summer, and like not winning those games against low blocks. Crystal Palace, such a good, well-drilled low block. Arsenal win the game. 1-0 down to Newcastle, they win it 2-1 late.
Well, I'm glad to see that I'm not blind and that rival fans actually see that Arsenal are playing against low blocks constantly. So I kind of feel validated in my analysis, but let's keep going.
And the thing about Arsenal is, Liverpool, they have to score 3 goals because it feels like Liverpool are going to concede 2 goals every game. With Arsenal, all they need to do is score 1 goal because you just know they're not going to concede. And it's like, unless a Soboslai miracle free kick happens, we can't beat Arsenal. Like, I just don't see anyone beating Arsenal, stopping Arsenal, because that defence is ridiculous. It's unfair.
I beg to differ. I think that it is fair. Liverpool went and they bought Alexander Isak when they could have bought our whole entire first team defence for less money than they did for Alexander Isak.
Even when they're not playing their best, low blocks like Fulham, Crystal Palace, they're scoring goals. They're finding ways to win because Eze produces a moment because they did everything they needed to do in the summer. And I'm worried because I'm going to have to delete social media if they win the league.